Hello again folks, it's Peter Elgar Photography here. This time it's a very unusual video. It's about a digital camera, not a film camera. The Fuji Finepix S9600 bridge camera. This is the huge instruction book which takes you about 4 weeks to read, including your tea break. This is the actual camera. I bought it for my wife some years ago, and she's had some very good success with it. But there's loads of stuff on it, and most of the stuff you'll never use. So it's very scary when you first get a digital camera because there's so much to read in the book. So I'm not going to go through the instruction book, just show you a few things on it. These are the controls by which you can choose your settings for exposure. Now at the moment it's on P for programmed exposure. That's the one my wife mostly uses because it's easy to understand and it does do a good job. If you put it on the red setting, that's the fully automatic setting, which we've never used, which may do a good job but doesn't allow you to override anything, and we never use that one. These other settings are what you call scene settings. There's one here for a little crescent moon on it that gives you a long shutter speed. There's one here for video. Now I have done some videos with these. You set that and it will take a video. Now these are the scene settings. There's one for portraits, one for night scenes, and you've got to read the book what it all does. But if you set it yourself, you can do these exactly the same settings manually. This is a manual exposure setting. That means you choose the shutter speed and the apertures yourself. Here is the Aperture Priority setting, which means you choose an aperture and the shutter speed will vary independently. This S means shutter priority. You choose a shutter speed you want and the aperture will vary independently according to the brightness of the light and the ISO that you set. P does both of them for you on the exposure. It will set both shutter speed and aperture for you. Now here's the other settings. As I look, you press that and you can change the flash how you want it, whether you want it come on or whether you want it off all the time. This one is very useful. That is the exposure compensation device, and you have to look in the back here, which I'll show you in a minute. And this one is for rapid fire. I think that's bracketing, that one, which we never ever used. That's off control. If you want to look at your pictures, you turn it to the green and you look at the photographs you've taken on the back. When you want to take a photograph, you put it to the camera one here and it's set up then to take a photograph. This is a hot shoe where you can slide an accessory flash, which is more powerful than the one built in. This is the pop-up flash which they supply, and that is very useful for fill-in flash. It's not terrifically powerful and you can adjust the power of it if you want to. So we'll have a look at the back now. Load more things on the back. There's selections for automatic exposure selection, and I've got it on the what you call, I forget what you call it, the multi-facet one. Then there's spot reading. You turn this one to spot. You want to press it around here. There you are. You turn it around, that's spot reading, and then I usually keep it on the centre one. This one here is an EF. Some of them getting worn out. This one is a little lock and you can put that in the viewfinder, so you can have it up to your eye like a standard camera. We'll put my pencil down here. You can put it up to your eye, or you press that one and it gives you an electronic view at the back, like a little TV screen at the back, and that's what it's on at the moment. But being an old-fashioned photographer, I normally press that one and I use the screen at the top. Now this control, F, we'll do that one. F is where you set the quality. Now it's a bit burnt, overexposed on this at the moment, but I usually set it so that we have 3:2 aspect ratio, so that you get 6x4" prints. If you go up one, you get 9 megabytes normal and 9 megabytes fine, megapixels rather. But that doesn't give you a 6x4 aspect ratio. So we normally keep it on that. If you want less quality, you can come down and put 5 megapixels, 3 and 2. We never use them. Just keep it on 3.2. Then if it change the sensitivity, the ISO, it's set to 100 at the moment. You go across, you can set it to 200, 400, up to 1600, or you can come down to 80. But you need a very bright light to use the 80 setting. So we normally keep that on 100 ISO or 200. As soon as you go up to a higher ISO, you start getting grainy pictures, or this digital noise as it's called. Now when you take the batteries out, you've got to set the date and the time, and that's already set. Now this one is the menu settings, and here you can have, go across, you can have a self timer off, you can have white balance automatic. Now we have used this. If you go along to there, you can have it on tungsten white balance. There's shade, there's fine daylight, there's various fluorescent tube settings, and at the bottom there's tungsten light setting, which I have used when you're photographing indoors. Now automatic doesn't give you perfect results every time, so we better put this back to where it was. Oh, that's it. If you get a blue cloth like this, for example, and you are on automatic, the camera will tend to correct because it's seeing too much blue, and turn your objects a bit yellow, which is the opposite of blue. Then we got lots of different things here. We've got the setting for the exposure. Now this one down here is automatic, your flash setting, where you can have it to set to less power. From 1/3, I normally have it set for fill-in flash. If you want the full flash, you put it to 0. And then you've got other ones. You've got set. You can have how long your images display. That's 1.5 seconds. You've got loads of other things down here of the noise it makes. You can have that set to noise, and the brightness of this screen. You can have it set to brightness, so we can reduce it a bit now. Let me see if we can. That's reduced down to minus. That's reduced down now to minus. And then you can have a display some cross hatchings or lines to aid you with the composition. If you don't understand the intersection of thirds, you put the main subject you want on one of those thirds. That's a display, and you can have it displayed how you like it. So much on here to understand, but stuff we never ever use. Now when you want to look at a photograph, you put it to the green, as I've said here, and your pictures that you've taken come up. Here's some pictures, flowers and garden, my wife with the flowers and stuff. There we are, that's a horizontal one. Now that is with a little bit of weak fill-in flash, and it will print very well, very well with a bit of weak fill-in flash. There we are, that's my boy. And that's at the prom. We took some pictures at his prom. Then if you want to delete them, you go across to frame, and it asks you, do you want to erase that frame? And you have to say yes or no, but we don't want to delete any at the moment. Or you can delete them all by clicking down there to delete all frames. And we don't want to do that at the moment either. So we won't press that. We'll clear that and go back. We don't want to delete anything off of there, although they are safe on my computer. Now here's the lens and the lens hood. It's a bayonet lens hood. That's quite a good lens on there. It's got a 10.7 times optical zoom, and it goes from 6.2 millimeters to 66.7 millimeters, which in 35mm camera terms is 28 to 300. That's quite a good zoom, and it is sharp. We've done some quite good results with that. Now, the maximum aperture at the shorter focal length is 2.8, but as you zoom it out, it goes down to 4.9. So you won't be able to get 2.8 when it's fully zoomed out. And you can zoom it out here. See how it comes out like that. And you can have it on autofocus or manual focus. Now this is where you set it. We set it around here when you're setting up your camera. Here. It's set to single shot autofocus. If you want it to set manual focus, you press that to MF, and when you look through the viewfinder, you turn a little ring at the back here, and that will focus manually your photograph. We have it set to single. If you put it to continuous focus, that is handy for slightly moving objects, but it will use more battery power. So my wife doesn't do sport and stuff like that, so we keep it to single shot. If you want to set to macro photography for close-up, you press this one. And you can press it on or you can press it off. Yeah, so it's on now. And then you press that up. We never use that actually. That's off, that's on. We don't want the macro, and we want it off. We don't want to extremely close-up work at the moment. Then this little cover is where you press in your other leads. Now, it comes with the box. You've got there's a couple of extra leads here. This is the lead to which you can connect the camera to your computer. So you can plug it in, look at the shape, plug that one in there, and then you plug this one into a socket on your computer, what's it called, a USB socket, that's right. And then you can download pictures using the camera straight away. If you have a card reader, then you can take out the card from your camera and you can put it into a card reader, which I have. Now the cards are two of them. You've got both an SD card, a CF card rather, compact flash, and you have an XD card. So you can run both. Now you've got to choose when you're photographing which one you want in the menu. Now there is a 4GB CF flash card, compact flash, which I take out and I put into this Lexar card reader, which we won in a competition, so that's free. So there's some little holes here, and there's some tiny little brass contacts in there, which are very delicate, so you've got to get it the right way up. So you have it up with the picture up, not with the back of it. You push that gently into there, very gentle, don't want to bend the contacts, there. And when you plug in to your computer, this bit, the USB, it will all start showing up, and you can download your picture straight off the card without plugging the camera. Now this does not take an XD card, it takes the SD from my Pentax K10D, it don't take the XD one. So I can't use that card reader. If I want to take pictures with the other card, which is buried, oh here it is, here it is. That is an XD card. They're all, mostly all discontinued now. But how do you choose which one you want to put in? We'll get it the right way round. I think it's the right way round. There we are. You look at it in the menu. I've got to be careful. Don't put it and bend those little contacts. If you bend the contacts, you've had it. Because it's very, very delicate. These little brass contacts down there. Don't want to bend it. That's safe. When you want to, you set it up to taking pictures, and you go down the menu somewhere. It will tell you sharpness, no, contrast. You've got to find it. Self timer. Maybe it's under set. Shutter volume, beep volume, playback volume, frame, media. Here we are. It says media. So you go across, and that is the CF card chosen because it's got the word CF on it. That's easy. If you go up that way, it hasn't got XD card, but it's got a little picture of the XD card. So you've got to choose which card you want to take your photos on. And you press that, and now it's chosen the CF card. You can see in the viewfinder, I've got it set to programmed exposure here. That's given me a 1/10 of a second at 3.7. It's set to ISO 200, and it's set to 3.2 aspect ratio. And here it's got the CF card chosen, and you can take 1,717 pictures on that CF card. I think that's what it means. But loads and loads of things to remember on this, but it does take some quite good sharp pictures, and we have had some enlargements off of it as well. Now hit the batteries. We'll turn it off. It takes ordinary AA battery, which are rechargeables, and this is the way you put them in. Now there's a little picture here. You've got to follow the little plus and the minus to get them the right way round, otherwise you can short your batteries and run them out. These are rechargeables I've got in here at the moment. Now, if I take these batteries out, it's going to lose the memory of the date and the time that I put in, so I won't take them out at the moment. The other thing about this camera, it's like the Pentax K1, the 1,900 pounds body. It's got a little moving screen here, and you can point that down for low pictures. You can have your camera down low and look in your little screen there at what you're photographing, or you can have it, hold it up above someone's head in a crowd and point this down that way and look at your little screen, and that's quite useful, and I have used that. So there's quite some interesting things to have. There's also a little clip. There's your lens cover. You can clip that on the side here, and we have used it like that as well. Clipped it so you don't lose it. But if you have to buy a new lens hood, my wife lost the lens hood in the snow. They're quite expensive for a bit of plastic. I had to buy another lens hood. 12 quid odd it was for a plastic bit of plastic lens hood. Fantastic price. But we tend to look after it so we don't lose it. So this is a quick rundown now on the Fuji Finepix S9600. It's discontinued, but it still takes good sharp photographs. So I hope you've enjoyed this little run round on it, and just take a lot of patience with your digital cameras, because there's a load of reading on it, but half the time you don't need all the features that are on it. So look out for another video from me, folks. I'll see if I can do you another one shortly. Thanks for watching.